Welcome back to DEVS, episode 5. Apologize for the long wait, found a new job. Schedule's been crazy, it's been really hard to actually sit down and film something. And the last episode was a real doozy, so needed to chill for a minute anyways. Oh, fuck off. God damn, I forgot how much I love the cinematography though. It's so good. Oh. I perpetually feel really bad for Lily, like throughout all of this. Oh, is this gonna be the flashback episode? Because I remember saying I figured there would be one. It's so cool. It's such a simple, like, visual effect to pull off, but at the same time, it takes so much finesse to actually pull it off this well. So, kudos. Bro, I don't want to actually watch him die. Oh, he's not gonna kill him? Maybe? Perhaps? Bro, Jesse does not deserve this shit. I mean, no one really does, but fucking Christ, man. So happy to see he's not dead at the moment, though. Thought for sure he died. No, come on, man. Ah!
Shut up.
I want so badly for there to be a way. But I don't see it, man. I don't know how the fuck they are possibly going to be able to do this. Are you about to be proven wrong, or? Okay. Hopefully that's good foreshadowing for Lily being 3 steps ahead, and even if things don't end well for her, she has a way to bring them down. Something. They wouldn't show that for no reason. Is this whole show just gonna be me feeling bad for all the characters I like?
£20,000 for every dog.
Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
You're unexpected, funny, clever, hot, awesome in every way.
Oh, it's so cute.
I'm in love with you.
What is your deal?
The act of our observing the particle has somehow changed it. It's a complex problem which leads to a simple question. What the
Is that kind of
hell
like
just
Schrodinger's cat?
I asked the professor to provoke her.
Like
There's
until
no
you look,
shortage
it's
of
technically
proposed answers to
in
that
2 different
question. The
states.
Copenhagen interpretation.
It's deterministic, it's supported by the math, and it's supported by the experiment.
I mean, everything is a theory
It's not
right now, so I don't know
supported by the
if
real world.
anything is supported by that. Oh, this is really trippy, dude. This is so cool. The fucking music gives me chills sometimes. Oh, this music is so unsettling. But like I said, it's still kind of weirdly pretty. And I don't even care that I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks amazing.
Okay. Let's see.
How did he become like the head of this project? Doesn't seem like he is nearly as intelligent as the rest of them. Unless he is, and I just haven't seen it yet? I don't know. More chills. God damn. Dude, ever being a part of science like this would scare the shit out of me. Just the endless possibilities.
So look, bring Amaya back, and then I'll take the car and go to the store.
Oh, this is where she dies, isn't it?
I know we can discuss
Right
it
at that
with
stop
her
sign.
friends. We can also discuss it now.
Fuck, man. How would you even react to something like that? I don't know how I would react. Probably in a similar way, just pure disbelief. Like that did not just actually happen. way they show things in this show is so disturbing and just like so raw, like the emotions that the characters feel. Oh, and look at that. She's not an emotionless shell. Hold up, wait a second. I'm trying to use my brain to the fullest of its capacity. I'm still just not quite getting it in terms of their goal. I mean, it seems like, you know, they're trying to be able to change things. But how would seeing it actually change it? I hope this means that Jesse...
I said I can't tell you why.
Jamie, I'm sorry, I keep saying Jesse. I hope this really means that Jamie is
Dad,
not gonna
I
go
work for an
along
internet
with this
security
motherfucker.
yeah, I'm totally fine.
He's,
I love you too.
He's so dead.
All you guys.
But at least
Okay,
he's
Dad,
gonna
I
die
gotta go.
doing the right fucking thing.
연락할게요.
听懂了吗？
好像没有。
I think I do.
只要
仔细想想。
Don't tell me we're getting close to the end of the episode here. I want more. Whoa. What the fuck, dude? Who's gonna kill her? Is it gonna be Katie? Get the fuck out of there, Lily. Oh, God. Is it Jamie? It is! Yes! He is the real MVP.
wish you did, but you don't.
Oh,
Just the dog talking.
Come on, let's go.
I love you, Jamie. What is her game, dude? What is... Ugh! This fucking show drives me nuts. But it's so good. It's so good. Well, what to say other than another fantastic episode. In a lot of my other reactions and reviews, especially for like The Walking Dead, I've explained how much I dislike flashback storytelling, because usually it's just really lazy and it's just an easy way to be like, oh, this is why this character did that, or this is why this solution worked kind of situation. But as I suspected, this was one of the best ways I've seen any kind of flashback storytelling done, because all it really did was provide a little bit of context for certain things, but also it layered everything even more. It gave you more questions than it did answers, which in the case of a flashback, I think is more appropriate. And particularly in the case of Lily and her dad in the flashbacks, I'm pretty sure that was a situation of using flashback storytelling to heavily foreshadow things to come. Particularly the moment where she says, I'm thinking, I don't know, like 3 moves ahead, and I did it because it feels like a strong move. I'm almost positive that that is what she is doing with Kenton and the rest of them. Like, maybe she really didn't plan on getting arrested and put into a mental hospital, but at the same time, maybe she did. Maybe that's exactly what she knew would get her to the point that could get her to win, or could get other people to a lower point and allow her to figure this out. It's kind of hard to imagine that, considering we've seen her die, and now we know that she dies in the DEVS department, and we know definitively that it's not Kenton that kills her. I mean, they said that that cube in there is in basically a vacuum. Is she essentially suffocating to death because she's outside of it, like in between the outer edge of that area and the inside of the cube? I don't really know. I like to pretend that I'm smart, but I'm not. I only have a film degree, so I can only go off of what I think I might know. Everything going on with Jamie in this episode was fantastic. I love his character. He is so fucking cool. And maybe Kenton was right. He's only doing all this because, you know, he's a puppy dog. He really wants Lily to throw him a bone and make her happy. But even if that was the case, or if it isn't the case, he's the realist. Like, he got tortured, had his finger broken, and was threatened, you know, I'm gonna kill everybody you care about. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna make it slow. I'm gonna make it horrible unless you shut the fuck up and do what I tell you from now on. And rather than go along with that, which if I were in his same shoes, I probably would. I'd be too afraid for my family and myself to continue on helping Lily. But he said fuck that, and he tried to get his family safe and went out and, you know, busted Lily out of the mental hospital because he the realist. Like, words cannot describe how happy I am that he is not dead and not under Kenton's thumb. He is his own person. I mean, I guess you could argue he's doing all this for Lily, but still, that takes some real bravery going through something like that and still sticking to your guns. Katie continues to be a really interesting character because this episode made it clear to me she is not some emotionless pit where she feels absolutely nothing for anyone. The scene of the multiple realities of her leaving the lecture, and you see in some of them, you know, she calls someone and she's happy, and some she's frustrated, and one she like throws her bag on the ground and starts screaming. Clearly, she has plenty of her own emotions to feel, and it seemed like she was happy that Lily got busted out of there. So it almost seems like the director is kind of hinting at the fact that she might be a surprise, like, protagonist of the story, and that she's trying to help Lily. Also with the moment where she tells Forrest, you know, you're putting yourself on trial here, and if this does work, then you're absolved of guilt, and if it doesn't, then you're definitely guilty, and it's your fault that your wife and child died. But I don't know, everything seems so gray when it comes to her. I really can't put a pin on what is her deal. Like, what is her end game? Who is she rooting for? What is she trying to do? For Forrest, it seems really clear. He's extremely guilty over what happened, and he, you know, wants to put it right. He either wants his daughter and his wife back, or he wants to know, at the very least, that there are other worlds where they're alive. But at the same time, I don't know about that, because in the previous episode, he went off the handle, lost his shit, when Lyndon came up with the idea of, like, let's take a look at sort of parallel dimensions here, and let's look at that so we can get a more refined image. And he didn't like that, because he knew it wasn't his Amaya, it wasn't his world that he was looking at. So I don't know, that one's also a little tough to put a pin on. And again, when it comes to context, it was really cool seeing how they like created the algorithm of like scanning these various images, getting it as perfect as can be, and then expanding from there to show, you know, things that they haven't been able to scan extensively and still being able to recreate it so well. Like, that was fucking awesome. And then they confused me when she showed in the algorithm the mouse like getting back up from the dead, which I'm assuming that right there is Forrest's goal. He wants to do that with his wife and daughter, or yeah. But how can that be? Like, how is that possible? I still have so many questions. And it's really refreshing to watch a flashback episode that doesn't answer every single question, you know? The standout scene for me was definitely Forrest witnessing the car crash that killed his wife and daughter. That was so disturbing and real and raw. And I really loved the way he acted that scene. You know, he didn't immediately start running and freaking out. He slowly walked up, like, raising his voice more and more as he goes, just in complete disbelief at what had just happened. Because like I said, I feel like that is the most realistic way you would deal with a situation like that. I mean, seeing your loved ones killed right in front of you, you know, just right down the street, it's just so unfathomable. How would you react to it other than being in complete disarray, not understanding how you should deal with this? And aside from that, I think any of the scenes where they showed kind of the multiple dimensions in the same scene, like different people doing different things, different ways it could have gone, like especially in the scene with the car crash where you see all the different ways they could have crashed or not have crashed and it wouldn't have resulted in their death, like that was fucking cool. And also really heartbreaking that out of all the ways that could have gone, probably the worst way it could have gone is what actually happened. On to the technicals. The cinematography, again, outstanding. There has not been a single episode of this show where I wasn't completely blown away by it. Like, there are shows that are really good when it comes to their cinematography, to the point where I have no real complaints, like Lovecraft Country or Game of Thrones. But there's very few shows that completely blow my mind with so many of the shots, just how beautiful and well framed all those moments are. Like, Dark hit that a couple times, not every single episode, but sort of frequently. David Fincher movies frequently amaze me with how good the cinematography in those are, but this show, it's almost every single shot where I'm just like, oh my god, that is amazing to look at. That is gorgeous. In terms of acting, this episode for me, honestly, I gotta give this a three-way tie between Alison Pill, Jin Ha, and Nick Offerman, because the three of them did really amazing work in this episode. Seeing Nick Offerman, again, that scene where his family died, that was so well acted. That was so gut-wrenching and real. I absolutely love that. Oh, I mean, I don't mean it like that, but the acting just blew me away there. And Alison Pill really shined in this episode in terms of playing both a likable and unlikable character, simply because you don't really know where she stands. Like, even chewing out her college professor was oddly likable because she clearly knows what she's talking about, but at the same time, she's being an asshole about it. And you can also tell that there's something else going on under the surface there, which you then find out is partially because of her family not being able to pay her tuition anymore, and I suspect something else as well. And Jin Ha really got me with the scene where he's being tortured, like just how much he was shaking and visibly afraid of Kenton. Like, it's really hard to get yourself to that point. I haven't done a lot of acting, but the bits I have, to really put yourself in the shoes of your character and feel those emotions in full, it's not so much like you're pretending, it's like it's really happening to you if you really want to sell it. So the fact that he was able to get to that point and just be immeasurably terrified of this other person was really, really well acted, and I definitely want to give him kudos for putting himself through that for that scene. The music, again, was very, very good. The score of this show is, I've already said it a few times, but it is so unnerving and oddly beautiful at the same time. Gives me chills all the time. It's so fucking good. And I even like the bit of copyrighted music that they used at the beginning and the end of this episode. It was very fitting. And the editing and pacing, I think, was about as good as you're gonna get when it comes to a flashback episode. Typically, flashback episodes halt the story completely, and I really don't like when the story progression just kind of stops in order to explain things. But the way they did this, showing Katie watching it all happen, coming back to the present every so often to see where certain characters are at right now, and then going back to either explain or complicate situations, it was just so well done. Like, that is how you do flashback storytelling. So overall, I'd give this episode, I kind of don't want to give it a rating this high, but I loved it. I really, really loved it. So I'm going for a 9.7 out of 10. It was so fucking good. It was so good. Like, this is one show I'm actually really thankful I'm not watching it week by week, because the week break in between, oh my gosh. That would be absolutely maddening, knowing there's still so much you want to get to and you have to wait. And I have a strong feeling this season is going to end on a pretty big cliffhanger, or at least not a completely satisfying way, so the wait to a season 2, if there's going to be one, is also going to be kind of agonizing, but this show is worth it. It is so fucking good. And that's about it. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I have never been so fucking pissed. Well, that's not entirely true, but what the fuck?